Are you a gamer who is bored of games? Having a hard time finding something to play? What if I told you I know the absolute best game for you to play? Something that would tickle the itch for a fantastical RPG. This game would have an infinite amount of DLC for you to try to your heart's content, and it's completely free. I know this sounds like a scam, but it's true. It may be a game you've heard of, and is quickly becoming more popular in recent years. This game is known as Dungeons & Dragons. Just wait! Give me a chance to sell you on this wonderful game. Let me explain what D&D actually is. Do you like anime? Star Wars? Marvel? Lord of the fucking Rings?
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Do you enjoy those big, epic, grand adventures where you get these fantastic characters all together in the name of a single goal? And friendship! With D&D, you can live out your favorite fantasy along with your friends, becoming the heroes or villains that you've always wanted to be. Ever been afraid to touch grass? Well, there is no need to be afraid in D&D. You do this by getting all your friends together, and each one gets to make a character ranging from so many different custom options with classes, races, and abilities. One person will be the dungeon master who will run the game, where you and your party will take on dangerous quests and face fearsome foes. You can play out any scenario that your little gamer heart desires. Have you always wanted to save the world from a giant tentacle monster that you pissed off because you spilt its Cheerios? Well, you can in D&D. You can pursue any scenario that your DM will allow. With a party and dungeon master, you'll be able to explore areas and get into fights, then show off your special class abilities. Roleplay your way out of scenarios by using your charming charisma. When it comes down to it, D&D can be whatever you and your friends want it to be. It can be any story that you wish for. It can let you play out your most crazy fantasies. Not the sexual ones. Get away, you freaks. Stay away from this game. Go back to 4chan. Now, I bet you're asking yourself, why should you play D&D? It's because there is no other RPG like it, besides all the other great tabletop RPGs out there, but let's ease you into just one for now. Dungeons & Dragons doesn't include repeating the same quest over and over to gain this RNG material or item that you need. You don't have to grind out for hours just to progress the game forward. There aren't any microtransactions, unless if, you slip a nice little tip to the DM. And there isn't any in-game stores. As well, it's free, which is amazing in the landscape where games are getting more and more expensive. There aren't any boring side quests that you have to do that involve collecting the same flower 5 times. Best of all, you don't even need a great PC. You can just play in person or over Discord. There is no other option. Join my Discord server. Do it. Just do it. It's fun. Just do it. Why are you hesitating? Click it now. Dungeons & Dragons isn't going to limit you due to in-game engine mechanics. There is no quick time events. I'm going to die. There are no glitches. Your character can do anything you can imagine with their own abilities. The only limit is your wits and your dice. You can tackle any scenario the way you want to. Some of the best stories from D&D is when players have to think outside the box to defeat their enemy or get past a certain scenario. From my personal experience, I can say that Dungeons & Dragons is the only game I haven't gotten bored of or felt burnt out, because you can always mix it up. I've been playing D&D since 2015, so trust me, it's still fresh. I'm sure you're fully convinced now, and you're wondering,
how can I get started with this, V-Phantom? I want to play D&D.
That's a great question. Firstly, you're going to need some friends. I know as a gamer, this might be hard to do, to find other people willing to play a game with you. Luckily, you can go to online forums like Reddit, where people are constantly looking for gamers to join their campaigns. Even if it's just you and one other friend, you can totally run a one-on-one session. I used to do it when I first started DMing, and it can be a very intimate and fun experience. Once you find your handy-dandy group of gamers, you'll need to choose one person to become the dungeon master, which could even be you. My advice is, don't be afraid to try DMing a game for yourself. It is almost just as fun as being a player, if not more. All you need to do is look up a YouTube tutorial or two, prepare a scenario, grab a fun map that you can find online, or make your own, and boom, improv the rest. Your players won't know the difference between that and a pre-made adventure. Pre-made adventures are always an option too, but they're not necessary. All the resources you need for D&D are online. You can look up the GM guide, player handbook, and all sorts of other cool resources. You don't even need to read these fully. Just read the first few pages, get an idea of how to run the game. It's a pretty simple loop. The DM describes the situations, the players tell the DM how they're going to react or what they're going to do or say. The DM tells them what happens, and depending on what the players are going to do, they roll some dice. Rinse and repeat, that easy. The hardest part of D&D is just setting up everyone's character sheets and selecting their classes and races, which give them different bonuses. Once you have their sheets, the party is ready to take on any scenario that the DM can throw at them. Don't forget some dice. You can always use a bot for dice, or you can get some physical ones too. Discord has plenty of options for bots that can roll dice for players. If you want a better representation of D&D to get an idea, try looking up an episode of Critical Role. If you're looking for a funnier way to play, you can always check out Dimension 20 as well. There's different ways to play, but that's one of them. You could also watch Vox Machina on Amazon Prime, or check out that new D&D movie that comes out this year. D&D is a game where it can be whatever you make it. It's one that I play almost 3 times a week, and I have a blast every time, as a player and as a DM. I hope that I was able to convince you to try D&D, and it may not be for you, but I have an idea that you're going to love it. Anyway, gamers, I've got to go join a session, so I will talk to you later.